Welcome back to Leo's Time Capsule. Today we're traveling back to medieval Europe to unclog some surprising facts about their drinking habits and rituals.
i.e. the good old days when water was the enemy and ale was your best friend.
Greetings, folks. Barley McAllister here, ready to pour you a tankard of historical brews and tales.
In medieval times, clean water was scarce. People turned to ale and mead, not just for enjoyment, but for survival. Ale was brewed in almost every household and varied greatly in taste and quality.
So basically, breakfast, lunch and dinner had a pint or two involved?
Indeed, Dane. And let's not forget mead, the nectar of the gods made from fermented honey. Each batch was as unique as the flowers the bees visited.
These drinks were also safer than water, thanks to the brewing process which killed harmful bacteria.
Safe and tipsy, the medieval way of life.
Sir, but the art of brewing was sacred. A bad batch could ruin a festivity, or even worse, your reputation.
Speaking of brewing, let's dive into the world of the English alewives. These women dominated the ale brewing profession, often identified by their ale stakes or signs protruding from their homes.
You mean like a medieval open for business sign?
Exactly, Dane. These alewives were entrepreneurial spirits in their own right, combining herbs, barley and water to craft ales that quenched thirst and brought communities together.
But their role wasn't without controversy. Alewives were sometimes accused of witchcraft, their brewing sticks and cauldrons fueling superstitions.
Witchcraft? For brewing ale? Talk about a bitter aftertaste to success.
True, but they persisted, symbolizing the resilience and innovation of medieval society. Their ales weren't just drinks. They were lifelines in a time when safe drinking options were limited.
Mead, on the other hand, was considered a drink of the elite. Its sweetness and potency made it a favorite in courts and among nobility.
So, from the humble abode of the alewife to the grand halls of kings, these beverages were more than just drinks. They were a testament to the ingenuity and adaptability of the medieval world.
Medieval Europe was not just about drinking. It was about how you drank. Drinking games and competitions were a staple in taverns and festivals.
Medieval beer pong, anyone?
More like pass the horn, lad. A game where you couldn't put down the drinking horn until it was empty. Many a tale started and ended with that game.
These games weren't just for fun. They were a display of skill, stamina and social bonding.
Or an excellent way to make a fool of yourself.
True, but a fool with a story is better than a knight with none.
But the fun didn't stop at Pass the Horn. Let's talk about the ale conner, a bizarre yet critical role in some medieval towns.
Al Connor sounds like a dream job.
It was quite serious, Dane. The ale conner was responsible for testing the quality of ale. They would pour some ale on a wooden bench and sit in it wearing leather breeches. If after a while they could stand without the breeches sticking to the bench, the ale was deemed good.
That's one sticky situation I wouldn't want to be in, but it shows the importance of ale quality in those times.
No wonder they needed games. Testing ale sounds like a tough gig.
Indeed. And let's not forget the competitive aspect of drinking. Cottobos was a game where participants flung the dregs of their wine at a target. Accuracy was key, and it was often played at symposiums.
Sounds like precision was as important as consumption. A true test of a steady hand and a clear mind, or the lack thereof.
From sitting in ale to tossing wine, medieval Europe sure knew how to keep drinking interesting.
And these rituals and games weren't just frivolous activities. They were a reflection of the culture, a blend of socializing, competition, and of course, the love for a good brew.
Alcohol played a crucial role in medicine and religion. Monasteries were known for their brewing skills, often creating recipes believed to have healing properties.
So a trip to the monastery was like hitting the pharmacy?
Indeed, Dane. And let's not forget the holy wines, blessed and believed to cure more than just the soul.
In a time when science was limited, these alcoholic remedies were essential for treating various ailments.
Medieval medicine, a pint of ale for your health.
Each brew had a purpose, whether for body or spirit.
Speaking of spiritual and healing brews, let's not overlook the patron saints of beer, like Saint Arnoldus, who urged people to drink beer instead of water to avoid disease during the plague.
A saint who recommends beer over water? Now that's divine advice.
Indeed, St. Arnoldus was celebrated for his wisdom. There's even a legend that he stopped a plague by dipping his crucifix into a brew kettle.
And we can't forget King Gambrinus, often hailed as a beer saint, though more myth than canon. He's a symbol of joviality and brewing.
A king and a patron of beer. Talk about royal taste.
These figures show how deeply intertwined alcohol was with both religion and health. It wasn't just a drink, it was a potion of well-being, sanctioned by the divine.
But the role of alcohol in health took a dramatic turn during the plague. Taverns, once bustling centres of social life, faced closures and restrictions.
A pandemic affecting pubs sounds eerily familiar.
Indeed, Dane. The plague transformed taverns from social hubs to potential hotbeds of disease. Yet they remained vital for communal health, both physically and psychologically.
A complex brew of belief, health and history. Alcohol in medieval Europe was more than a mere beverage. It was a potion blessed by saints and brewed by monks, a remedy for both body and soul. Despite its importance, alcohol abuse was a concern in medieval Europe. Excessive drinking led to social and health issues, prompting authorities to regulate taverns and alehouses.
Even back then, they knew when to say last call.
Regulating a tavern was no easy feat. Keeping the nights merry yet orderly was a task for the brave.
These regulations were an attempt to maintain order, especially during times of strife.
Nothing like a nightly brawl to ruin a good evening.
But a well-kept tavern was a haven of stories, songs, and camaraderie.
Indeed, as the popularity of ale and mead grew, so did concerns over public drunkenness and disorder. Authorities began implementing measures like quality control, licensing for alehouses, and even curfews.
Quality control, like medieval health inspectors.
Precisely, Dane. The role of an ale taster was crucial. They ensured the ale was up to standard, not too strong to cause immediate drunkenness, nor too weak to be considered a cheat.
And let's not forget about the laws against selling adulterated ale. It was serious business. Offenders could be fined or publicly shamed.
Public shaming for bad brews. That's harsh.
But necessary, Dane. It was all about maintaining a balance. Ale and mead were central to daily life, but their abuse could disrupt the very fabric of society.
This darker side of alcohol consumption reflects the dual nature of its influence. On one hand, it was a source of nutrition, medicine, and celebration. On the other, a catalyst for chaos and disorder.
A fine line between merrymaking and mayhem.
Indeed. The medieval approach to alcohol was a dance of discipline and indulgence. Taverns were more than just places to drink. They were microcosms of the societal order and disorder.
From ales to meads, from games to monastic brews, we've uncovered the spirited side of medieval Europe.
And remember, while you enjoy your modern brews, think of the tales they might have inspired in medieval times.
Farewell, friends. Next time you're in for a drink, remember the stories each pint holds.
Thanks for joining us on this historical pub crawl. If you enjoyed this journey, give us a thumbs up, share with fellow history enthusiasts, and subscribe for more.